crafters, good morning. Happy Labor Day. Welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and hopefully, you all have had an amazing holiday weekend, had an opportunity to relax, get some things done if that's what was important to you, or whatever. But I appreciate and welcome each of you here. So happy to have you part of the channel today. Today is meant to be just a sew along, just an opportunity for us to kind of hang out. It's a Labor Day weekend and not meant to do yeah, not do a lot of labor, right? Just do things that are fun and important to us. So in the chat already, we have Katrina this morning. Good morning, Katrina. She says, "Are you ready to sew?" Okay, I will be honest. So we did Russ and I did the collab on Saturday. We turned around and did the collab again on yesterday, and I got everything done on the quilt as far as all the blocks on that pattern, with the exception of the borders. And then I just felt the need that I just had to get the silly thing done. Of course, two of the big 7-inch borders just absolutely did not want to go on that quilt last night, but I got it done. So it is done. I think I posted a picture out on Facebook. If I didn't, I will. With my setup here, it's really just tight. That turned out to be a much larger quilt than I anticipated. But yeah, I think I'm probably ready to sew again too. BBMK is here for this morning from Phoenix. Good morning. I'm sure it's nice and warm down in Phoenix this morning. I woke up to 61 degrees up in the mountains. So just crazy the differences. Good morning, Mr. Russ. Thank you for being here. Diana, good morning from Bermuda. How exciting. I love Bermuda. I took a 5-6 day cruise there a few years ago on Royal Caribbean and just had so much fun exploring the island. Actually snorkeled for my first time ever in Bermuda. It's such a difference in water between the Caribbean and the US. It's just amazing to me. You just don't really get it. Who else is here? Vera's here this morning. I'm traveling from the camp house today. Going to miss out on the sew along. Have fun. I have 200 miles to drive. Drive safe. Be careful getting home. And we can always catch up again, Vera. Thanks. Judy says, good morning from Northern California in Oroville. I may have to put my glasses on. Oroville. Donna's here. Morning, everyone. Candace is here this morning. Hello. Hey, Stephanie. Thanks for being here. She just finished her live and jumped over. So how awesome is that? BBMK says it's already 90 degrees in Phoenix. Yes, and the high here today is supposed to be like 82. And folks, I'm only like an hour and 40 minutes up the mountain. Not even probably an hour and 40 minutes. And it's just amazing how the elevation just changes things so quickly. Karen's here this morning. Good morning, Karen. Balloonist is here. Good morning from Tucson. Candace is here. And B. Caltrain is here. Liz from South Carolina. Oh, Liz from South Carolina. Hey, Liz. I lived in North Augusta, Aiken, South Carolina area for about 5 years. Loved a lot of things about South Carolina. That was always a cool place. And because of it, that's where we take the grandkids back to the beach. Every year we go to Myrtle Beach because my daughter just feels like that's where she grew up. And Christina's here from Sweden. Welcome in, Christina. Thanks for joining from Sweden. I used to work for SKF Bearings years ago and used to go to, I think it's supposed to be pronounced Gothenburg, Sweden, but we always called it Gothenburg because, again, I got that southern going on. Hey, Patricia, good morning from California. Staying inside today to avoid dust from the sweeping of the almonds in the orchards around us. Down in South Carolina, we grew pecans, so that was always an interesting time. So I can't imagine what the almonds would be like. All right. Katrina says she's already started prepping for dinner. And Joydy's here. Good morning, Joydy. Thank you for being here. So, folks, today is about doing the mazed pattern for Villa Rosa. It's a running dough quilts for Villa Rosa pattern. Hopefully, you all got the pattern. I will not be talking about details around the pattern as far as measurements and that because it's not my design. And as you know, I am not endorsed by Villa Rosa, although I seem to talk a lot about their patterns. I just like how quickly most of them go together in that. It does take one full jelly roll to do, or you would need 40 2.5 inch strips. So hopefully you got those. The most work that I did in prep is last night after I finally got that other quilt done, is I did sort my Grinch jelly roll strips. I did sort those last night, light to dark. I will tell you, I don't think I got quite an even distribution on light to dark, so I had to put a couple that I consider more dark in the light pile, but it is what it is, and we will make it work. I did really kind of like going through the darks last night because I don't know how this shows up on screen, but this is pink with the Grinch. And I just thought that pink color is just so adorable and just seems so Grinchy to me. So that is what I am going to be working on today. Um, Please feel free to drop in the chat what you're working on in that. The plan is close to the top of the hour. I want to celebrate getting over 1,000 subscribers. So I pulled a couple of things out of stash, brought those up, and so we will do some giveaways 3 times this morning. And so the only thing that I ask is if you want to participate in the giveaway in that you are a channel subscriber. So if you're not a subscriber, please reach out and do that. Again, that would be most appreciated. And we'll see how today goes. Today is just about us having fun together, sewing together, chatting. Um, no real agenda. I had no plans. I think a couple of the neighbors down the street were having burgers and that later this afternoon because here it is 8 a.m. Um, Arizona time. So that's that is still early in the morning. So if my brain starts not functioning quite as well, you'll know why. But let's get sewing. Let's get some things going this morning. So I decided I wanted to start. I think what I'm going to do is when I read the pattern and try to figure out what to do, it's about sewing some of the strips together, then it's doing different cuts and then building blocks each time. So I thought what I may actually do is sew some of the strips together, then do a block, go back, and just kind of back and forth in that. That's typically not the way I've done it. Typically, I would do all the sewing, then do all the sub cutting, then go back and do the piecing and do that. But today I thought, you know what? Let me just do something a little different because it's a holiday weekend and it's my show, so I can do what I want, right? So I did add a second camera today, so hopefully you will be able to see me cutting. Again, I'm not going to share the measurements in that. Hopefully you all bought the pattern and are working on something similar. If not, if you're just here for the next few hours to listen to me rattle on, that works as well, and I appreciate that just as much. And if you have been a subscriber to the channel for a while, you know that I can be ADD at times and my mind goes a little bit of everywhere, and that's okay too. So, life is good, life is short, and um, I'm just too old to get hung up on crazy or stupid or whatever we want to call it nowadays. So I want to put these jelly rolls over here. I just turned my iron on. I am one of those folks that just has to press everything, and I do it over and over and over. Um, Fortunately, I don't use starch on my quilts because if I did, they would probably stand up in the corner because I don't know why. I just like always having a clean pressed fabric to start with. Russ says dual cameras, fancy. We'll see. We'll see how long that camera actually lasts. So that is going to be a little bit different for me today. Um, yes, see, Stephanie has the right idea. It's my party. I can cry if I want to. Amen. Oh, Pug Mama's here. Good morning, Deb. Welcome in. Judy, I just bought the pattern, but do you think I could find it? No. I think we all live in that world. I like to think, I use a lot of technology at work, and some days I just almost just want to turn the computer off and just sit there and shake my head. It's like, many days I miss the day of just pen and paper. It's like, I don't know, things have to seem be so difficult. I don't know why that is. Hey, Tamala, welcome in. Thanks for being here first time. Welcome to the channel. I'd like to say it gets better than this, but it doesn't. This is me. This is what we do. This is how we put things together. So today we are working on the Mazed pattern by Villa Rosa. And if you did not purchase that pattern and decide you want to grab it now, you can do a digital download from the Villa Rosa website. As always, I am not endorsed, encouraged, or supported in any way by any shop. So you get my true opinion. If I like something, I like something. And if I don't like something, I don't like it. Um, so, and I have worked really hard this weekend to kind of get the setup that you're seeing on camera to stitch in that here in Shady Pines. But fortunately, I bought a new sewing cabinet. And of all things, the sewing cabinet is called Laverne and Shirley, right? I mean, like, where did that name come from? And so that is the sewing pattern or sewing cabinet that I am hoping my park friends will assemble and have ready for me next time I'm up here. So, but it's a very similar setup, but the nice thing is it collapses all down into one small unit. So that way, if I decide to have guests inside the park home, I still am able to kind of close up shop a little bit and do that. And when I just want to be John and entertain John, I can do that as well. I will tell you, if I just learned this trick not too long ago, if you still have your jelly roll together or if you haven't taken it apart, if you use I call it a dog's brush, but a sticky roller. If you roll that over, it will help take off some of that stray fabric in that. I did that last night before I opened my jelly roll, and I think I went through about 5 sheets. It's just amazing to me, and it helps keep all of that out of your machine, which mine probably needed to be cleaned this weekend. But part of what I was trying to get the other quilt done last night is I did not win at Bobbin Chicken because I tend to forget that I need bobbin. And I was very excited that I had the last strip on the quilt completed, only to find out that I had no bobbin. And so I had to put the bobbin in and restitch the whole thing. So, it's just as quilters, we just deal with so much. I remember when I first decided I wanted to learn to quilt and put things together. Um, when I saw the prices some of these people wanted for their quilts, I thought they were crazy. And then I realized very quickly that after doing the first couple, that they weren't crazy at all and they weren't charging near enough. I think the biggest shock to me starting was thread. Um, I remember growing up, my mother shopped. She only did garment sewing. She never did quilting. But I remember spending lots of time at Cloth World with her, picking fabrics and that. She was a 70s lady, so she made pantsuits all the time, and she was a school teacher, so she was always making a new pantsuit for school. And I remember buying buttons and watching her get patterns and all that. But I think the um, most shocking thing to me when I first started was thread. Is like, are you kidding me? I could not believe the price of thread. I get, and I haven't been doing this, but almost 2 years. And I mean, when I was first started, fabric was like $10 a yard, and now all of a sudden it seems to be 14 a yard seems to be the norm. So I can only buy fabric when it's on sale. So I have learned to do that. Candace says, I finished piecing a quilt top Saturday, quilted two yesterday, and now to square and bind. See, how awesome is that? Unfortunately, I have multiple um, quilt tops done. I just haven't quilted anything yet, but I have a nice stack for the long arm. Katrina says, I bought the ether roll, jelly roll, and navy solid for my dark. I'm loving how it's looking. I will say I was really excited when I found this pattern. I do like the Villa Rosa patterns are simple, but it does, hopefully we'll see how it goes together. I've got my first pieces put together and I need to cut them and we'll see how that block ends up together. Candace says, isn't Shady Pines the name of the place Dorothy would threaten her mom in the Golden Girls? It is, but when we bought the park home, um, we always like to have names for our properties. And Mr. Russ thought, since I'm in another retirement community, that it only made sense that we call this um, Shady Pines. So that's how this place became known as Shady Pines. The RV park itself is not called Shady Pines. That's just what we affectionately call um, my piece of the RV park. And Stitcher says she's going to cross stitch while she listens to me rattle on and as we put some stuff together. So I used to cross stitch. It's been a long time. I keep thinking I want to crochet again. So every time Joann's has a yarn sale, I have stocked up. So I have enough yarn now to probably do about 25 afghans if I ever got motivated to do that. And I did at one point. I have at least put together my little crochet pack and assembled all of that. And it is now sitting on the other sofa next to where I watch TV. And maybe one day we'll actually get the crochet needle out and start doing something. All right, so let me do some cutting and let's see if we can figure out how to put this first square together and what that's going to look like. So the plan today was to do about 3 hours. Like I said, do a couple of giveaways in that. It's just really meant for us to be able to chat, talk, and just enjoy the holiday together. If you're working on the same pattern, that's great. I'd love to know some of the colors and things that you're working on. I just happen to choose Christmas. Um, Mainly because this is one of the jelly rolls I had. I did pick the jelly roll pattern specifically so folks didn't have to do a lot of cutting if they didn't want to. And if you did, that's fine too. All right, so let me see what some of the measurements are here. I need to cut, subcut two. All right. I like I like mine bigger. So if you noticed, I use Soviet quilts. I use um, um, man, my mind just went blank. I ended up buying her rulers because they don't slip. I tend to have a tendency to always let my ruler slip. And so, because of that, I ended up buying the Fallon. I ended up buying these from Fallon. Her husband makes them. I will say it did take me a little bit getting used to it. The first time I used them, I was like, oh, that was the biggest mistake ever. I can't believe I bought those. And then once I really started using them more regularly, I now can't do any cutting without these silly things. I absolutely love them. And again, I'm not endorsed by Fallon or her husband, but I liked them so well that she had a sale I guess it was July 4th, and I ended up buying a whole nother set. So I have a set here, and I have a set at home, so I didn't have to travel back and forth with those. All right, so there's my first two cuts. Then I need to cut two that are that size. All right. So as soon as I get this first square cut, guys, we can start stitching and seeing what one block is going to be. And I couldn't help myself. I just fell in love with this stupid pink. So I had to do the pink for do the pink as my first cut. Let's see that one and then this one. See how that one's going to turn out. All right, and you kind of see that I'm still on camera. Sorry. I was trying to figure out all this. There's so much logistics when you're trying to do the YouTubes and figure out what your setup looks like, what it doesn't look like, what you do want to show, what you don't want to show. Um, there's different things. I always have to remember, don't scratch my nose or don't act silly because you just never know. And the camera doesn't forgive anything. The camera sees everything. It's just amazing. All right, and then I only need, okay. So I think I've got all my cuts done, the exception. Hmm. So the plan, like I was saying earlier, is to go 3 hours today. If you all want to float in and out today, that works too. If you're only able to be here for 20 minutes, that's great. Um, but I just thought it would be fun for us to be together on a holiday and just see what we could get accomplished. All right, so the cutting's done. And I have to keep pulling this silly stool. I bought a nice new sewing chair for up here. It didn't arrive yet, so I'm hoping that arrives on Tuesday. And then I ended up ordering a floor mat, and but this even on the floor mat, this chair doesn't like to roll, so we'll have to figure out what's going on there. Oh, look at Russ. Crochet hook, not crochet needle. Whatever. Y'all killing me. Denise says, congratulations on getting to 1,000. Thank you so much. It was a very exciting email to get. Jen says, I'm working on bowl koozies for a silent auction. If her cat would let me press, I want to press a top and pin it. I give you big kudos for doing bow koozies. So I bought those at Sun City's craft show. I think is Black Friday weekend every year, and they have a huge craft show, and they do pottery, and they do leather, and they do um, quilting. That's actually how I ended up getting into quilting. But I ended up buying several bow koozies. So then when I started this, I thought, okay, well, let me figure out how to make bowl koozies. And I did end up doing like 8, I think, or 10, because I like pre-cut everything, went back and assembled, and just kind of did an assembly line thing, which was probably better for me because had I not done it that way, I don't know that I would have ever gotten them done. Um, they were so much more work than I ever anticipated. So it was just crazy. BBMK says, I found a palette I knew hubby would like. It was only 10 colors and I couldn't talk him into getting 10 more. So 4 stripes of each color. Not sure I'll like this one. We'll see. Sometimes sometimes you just got to start getting it together to see. I do think I actually don't mind the colors that Villa Rosa used on them. On this one, I'm not always a fan of some of their colors. I think this in a black and white, or black and grays, or even in maybe like the blues, but in the a variety shades of blue might really be cool. I think this pattern lends itself to a lot of opportunity. Katrina says, Double check your layout before you stitch. Save yourself time with Jack. Yes, I am becoming a much. I use Jack a whole lot more than I wanted. I will say I did end up buying a new one that does seem to make me a little happier, but I still don't like to get Jack out if I don't have to. All right, so let's see how we are going to assemble these. This one goes this way. Interesting. So the dark goes that way and the light goes that way. All right, so let me make sure I squared up my blocks. Because since everyone's watching today, I got to try to make sure I am doing these correctly. Yeah, this block's bigger than it should be. Always fun, right? Now I got to trim this down a little bit. All right, so let me trim these down just a little bit. Make sure that they're going to fit. Oh, oh, there we go. All right. So this wasn't as big as I thought it was, but it's still bigger than it needs to be. So let me get that trimmed down. And I am cheating, just taking all of it off one side. Uh, or I should take a little bit off each side, I know, but I didn't do that. Right, so that gets me the size I need. Yes, so there's one. Whoops. Two. And I thought this one was going to be so perfect because it had, because I was doing it with jelly rolls. I'm actually using a real 1/4 inch seam allowance now, which is taking me forever to get used to. But it does just take so much time. And that's what took so long last night finishing the other project, was because I wanted to make sure that I had trimmed up and squared up that quilt before I put the borders on, and I did. And so that one ended up coming out pretty cool. Mhm. Third time's a charm. I got a little. Guess I should have put a new rotary blade on, but I did not. So we will deal with that today too. I don't know about you, but that's probably the one thing I hate dealing with the most, these rotary blades, and it just astounds me how quickly they go um, dull. And I will have to say, I'm still getting used to sitting down to cut because I am so used to standing up to cut. I like being hovering over top. And so I think that's part of it too. And getting used to cutting at what almost feels like a whole different angle to me. And you have to forgive me because I've only had 3 cups of coffee this morning, and I'm used to having many, many more. All right, so now these should square up very nicely. So let's see if that's going to be the case. And if so, I can actually show you all in a second what the first one is going to look like. All right. So I don't know if 3 hours we get this done today. If we don't, that's kind of cool. I did not buy a border to go with this. It does not call for a border. I tend to always do borders because I just think it makes the quilt look that much more finished. But because of that, I'm trying to do less because I think I do use a lot of borders. And so I'm like, okay, well, you need to start doing less borders. Um, or just following the pattern sometimes, which it's really hard for me to follow the pattern because I just like to make my own rules. And so that can make it uh, seem like I'm more compliant, I guess, if I'm not changing something up on it. All right, so there's that one. So now which one goes next? It would be this one. It would go this way. Oh my gosh, look, like this is lining up. I don't know. That's very exciting to me because it's taken me a long time to finally get to the point where I've got stuff lined up. And by the way, I have not stitched this quilt. So I am stitching it live, which shows you what a risk taker I am because I want it. I'll be honest, I just really haven't had the time to get to it. So hopefully this works out for all of us. If you've done this pattern, I would be interested to know that. I have found that most of the Villa Rosa patterns are usually pretty simple to put together and they usually stitch out pretty cool. So that's why I tend to, I guess, just go with it. But that's probably not always what you want to do on a YouTube live. But you know what? Live dangerously. Oh, Katrina says I had to give Jack a workout on the first block. See? That's right. So we appreciate the heads up, Katrina. Right. See, Joy says she likes borders too. I think borders just make it look finished to me. So that's why I tend to go back and do a lot of borders on my quilts. But I'm trying to understand, like when I gift and put some of these, together, it's like, okay, well, it's not always about, I guess it is about my style and preference, but also I want them to feel like it's that I thought about what they like or how they like things put together. So I am trying to take others' feelings into consideration. Y'all don't know that's tough for me at times. All right, let's try this. Oh my gosh, this is actually going together, I think, folks. So this is going to be cool. But considering that it's taking, we are 35 minutes into the live, I'm not sure at this pace that I am going to get all the blocks done today. I'd at least like to get all the blocks done, and then I don't care to sew them all together later. I think Russ and I did different yesterday, so it's interesting because I tend to sew my blocks together and complete a row and then do all my rows and then go back and put the rows together. And I think Russ was doing it just a little bit different yesterday. It's fine. There's no rules that say it has to go a certain way, I don't think. But I think part of it is just the way our brains function. And that just seems logical to me that that's the direction it should go. And so that is how I went. Got mine done. All right, let's see if this works. And if you notice, I don't pin nothing. I am not a pinner. And if I have to pin something. I have clips, and I brought the clips in, and so I will resort to clipping. Oh my gosh, did I put this on backwards? I did. Oh, and even Katrina warned me. All right, so now I got to take that one out. I'm down to the last one. See, I got too excited. Just wanted to get this done, be able to show y'all, but that's okay. So we will see if we can rip this out. It was funny. The first shop that I took lessons from, the lady that owns it is Erica. She is such a sweetheart, and she's been doing things, been doing this stuff for hundreds of years. It seems like. I think she's younger than me, but just had the best personality. I mean, was just so well suited for it. But I remember she used to say, "Here, let me just rip this out because I can do it so much quicker, and you can go on and sew the next block or something." And then one day, I'd messed one up pretty good. She goes, "You need to rip that out." And I said, "Okay, well, you want me to go on and do the next one?" And she laughed. She goes, "No, we finally realized that you never have to rip anything out. So maybe it would be good for you to start ripping your own work out. So maybe you'll think before you sew it." So she was probably right, but it was very nice that they used to do all the ripping for me. So now I've had to learn to do my own. But I will say I've just bought this new seam ripper, and it's gotten more of a workout than I would like for it to have. But it is a Dritz, Dritz, I think, seam ripper, and I do like it. I like the handle because some of them have such odd handles. They have rectangular handles or flat handles, and this I can seem to grab and work with. All right, so that came out. So now let's think about how that's supposed to go, John, so you don't mess this up yet one more time. All right, so that is that way, so it has to go this way, which means it goes this way, right? Yes, because how embarrassing would it be to do this wrong twice? I know people that have done repeated their same mistake twice. I just don't want to be one of those people, especially on a YouTube live. All right, let's see. All right, so let's see what. All right, I woke up this morning, realized I had to go in and approve time for payroll because this is payroll week for us. So I had to hurry and do that. Then I had to send another email, and then I realized, oh, you were really good Thursday about checking email during the day, even though you were on vacation. But I did not log in at all on Friday. And when I saw my email count this morning, I realized you may have wanted to log in at least at some point over the weekend. So I guess this afternoon, besides putting the park home back together and running the vacuum, I did get all the laundry done yesterday before Russ and I were together. So all the laundry's done, all that kind of stuff is done. I just need to run the vacuum, which is going to be interesting. I've got to break all this setup down, put it away, and then um, just get the house clean because I like to leave it with clean sheets and all that. And tomorrow morning, I leave. When I leave bright and early because I like to be in the office no later than 7. And if I wait and leave in the morning, especially early enough to get me in the office at 7, I don't get um, I don't run into a lot of traffic. So folks, let's see. This is the first block, and it is done. I think I am really, really, really going to like this pattern. And there is a close up of what that looks like. Sorry, the sun is playing a little havoc with me this morning. I really hate to have to close the blinds. So, first block done. How awesome is that? So, let's see. 40 minutes into the live. Now, we'll say I chatted a good 5 minutes before I even started, maybe 10 minutes. So, at 30 minutes per block, that's going to certainly eat into our time today, but we shall see. Jody loves the Grinch. See, BBMK likes it. Donna, thank you. Mary says, awesome Labor Day. Get to see three of my fave YouTubers, Stephanie, John, and Russ. Oh, Mary, that's very sweet. Thank you. Love the fabric and love the block. I do too. There's just something really that jumped out about this pink to me. So let's get the next one. But guys, I need a drink. Uh, oh my goodness. I did bring some water out because, I live in a dry heat, right? Denise says she loves fabric in the block. She has to find the right jelly roll. I'll agree. And I'll tell you how bad it was that I knew I was going to do the Grinch, and the Grinch is what I wanted. And then I turned around and was like, oh my goodness, here's another jelly roll Christmas. Oh, I ended up buying it at our local quilt shop because they had all pre-cuts, I think 25% off. And they had a really traditional jelly roll that was more in the poinsettias and that more of that traditional deep red, deep green with some golds. And I'm typically not a gold person, but I just really like that. So I've got it sitting out to think I may do, already planning to do the second one, right? So it's like, okay, you need to get the first one done before you worry about doing the second. But that's me. I'm a planner. I like to plan ahead. All right, let's see. Maybe this one would be cute. Go with that. All right, so let's get this pressed out. I do think even not doing this live, I do think this pattern, I think it could go fairly quick, but I do think it's one of those that's just going to take time because I do think it's one that you almost have to keep checking every measurement and making sure, just like I did, like Katrina warned me, to make sure that you're putting the pattern together correctly. So I think this is one that is not going to be one of the faster Villa Rosa patterns, maybe. But we'll see. So has anyone else got their first block done? I know Katrina does because she's one that was trying to warn me to make sure I did it right. Hey, Wayne, thanks for being here this morning. Welcome in. Happy Labor Day. Katrina says, do you have backing picked out yet? I do not. I am one of those weird people. I think we all have a habit that we fall into. I absolutely do not pick backing until until my quilt is done. And then once I have it done and ready to go on the long arm, that's when I actually look for backing. I also like backing that is shocking. So I like when you look at it, you go and someone flips my quilts over, they go, oh, wow, I would have never guessed that for the backing. So I do kind of use, and I do try to only use 108-inch backing because I'm just too lazy and I don't like to have to piece together. And then, interesting enough, I don't do binding until I have it quilted and trimmed, and then I'll go back and look for binding too. So I don't even pick the binding until we're ready to do the binding. All right. Jordy says, I do plan on buying a pattern when I get upstairs. I have tons of Christmas fabrics and it does look fun. Hey, Katie Crafts, welcome in. Thanks for being here this morning. Katrina says she's on the last block that she can work on until tomorrow when more navy fabric comes in. I was hoping it would be here Saturday, but oh well. Yeah, it's funny how it doesn't always, poor UPS and FedEx and the mail system just does not run fast enough. I will say, probably the one I get the best and fastest from, which just amazes me, is Back Quarter Shop. So I think they're in Texas, and if I order something from them over the weekend, it typically always ships out on Monday and is usually in my mailbox on Thursday. Uh, One of the worst for me is Jenny at Missouri Star Quilt, especially if it's she's just run a big sale. That can be 2 weeks for just to ship out. And then the others I don't shop regular enough, and usually I'm just buying ahead anyway. What I do need to get in a better habit of is shopping my stash. I did special order a charm pack, Christmas charm pack for Stephanie's quilt pattern that I'm doing, and like I said yesterday, she made it to the cutting table so far. But that's a Christmas pattern that just when I saw the pattern, I knew like what I wanted it to be. Because of that, I ended up doing grabbing the right charm pack to go with it. All right, so we are about 45 minutes or so into our live. Now 47 minutes. All right, so I am going to go over to Nightbot. This is the first time I have done a giveaway, so be a little patient with me. I actually have the Sweet Tooth Poppy Cotton Sweet Tooth, which I think is a little bit more Halloween in that jelly roll. So that is the first um, giveaway this morning. So it is a full complete jelly roll with 48 2.5-inch strips. I just thought that was appropriate. So let me go over and get the giveaway set up. You do need to be a subscriber to the channel if you want to enter. And let me see if I can do this. See if we can make that work. All right. So if you go in the chat, we're going to leave it open for about 5 minutes. If you go in and type jelly, it should enter you in the raffle for this hour. Jelly. Hey, Charlotte, good morning. Thanks for being here. There we go. Look at that. I do forget that there's a delay, so it always makes me wonder. And if you see on the second camera, you see that I have the show showing up on my other television. And I just do that so I can kind of see what everyone else is seeing. And then sometimes I go, oh my God, did I just do that? Really? Then I realize, well, you did that, but you did it 90 seconds ago or whatever, because there was a delay um, between YouTube and StreamYard is what I use for my streaming software. And that seems to really work well for me. All right, I had to do one more pink one. I just really like the way that pink turned out. And I don't know if it would be faster to do it more of an assembly line, but I just didn't feel like being that restrictive to myself this morning. Just felt like I wanted to have a little bit more fun. And so I wanted to see the blocks coming together. today. So that is why I am doing mine this way. Others of you may be doing all the strips first, then all the cutting, then assembling your blocks. That's fine. That's probably what the instructions say to do. Um, but I think instructions are meant to be a guideline. I don't think they're meant to be a directive. So, how cool is that? No, you do not need the exclamation point before jelly. At least I hope not. Like I said, this is the first time that I've done a giveaway. So we're going to learn together. And if it doesn't work, we'll figure out how to make it work the next time. All right, so we'll take about 1 minute. If you're a subscriber, if you want to be entered into the raffle, just type the word jelly. If you don't want to be entered in the raffle, that's fine too. I am, like I said, up in the park home today, so I will be traveling back tomorrow. So if you win, you'll just need to send me an email with your address, and it will get mailed out one day this week. But I'm not going to promise how quick. Excuse me. How quick I will get things mailed out. All right. So let me see if I hit the roll it button, if that will actually work, and if it will pop up a winner for us. All right. So it says start giveaway. So let's see what happens. Katie Crafts has won the giveaway. Congratulations, Katie. So, Katie, if you will send me an email and just say jelly roll in the subject is great, and send me your address, I will get that mailed out to you this week. And my email is John, JOHN, at guyscraft2.com. So we have 2 more giveaways this morning. So we will be getting there. All right. All right. So let's see. Let me go back to here. I may have to jump up in a minute. It was so cold this morning. I turned my fan off because it was so cool in here. But then I may need to go back and turn it on now because now until the day is already heating up. Plus, sitting next to the steam iron is not helping. So if you see me jump up and run across the room, just go, poor guy. All right. All right. Oh, I closed the chat. All right, I didn't close the chat. I changed screens. Let me go back. I think this, yeah, this is a Robert Kaufman jelly roll that I am working on this morning. And I think I ordered this one from my favorite quilt shop because they tend to be very Grinchy. They do a lot of Grinch stuff, and I'll be honest, I have to really stay away from them because I could easily spend every paycheck with them. I don't know why, um, but they just seem to always have a lot of things that resonate with me. It's kind of like Monique down at Open Gate Quilts. She always seems to send a box to me that just is like, man, if I could have, put boxes together and do those things, that's kind of probably what my box would look like. And she just does such a great job. And so that is actually one of the only subscription boxes I have stayed with. I have gone through a lot of them, but that one still seems to work and resonate with me. I feel like as I'm concentrating, trying to make sure all of these are cut correctly, that we should be playing the Jeopardy theme music. I don't know if you all ever feel that way or not. Always hear that song in my head for some reason. And I will say Jeopardy's just not the same to me anymore without Alex Trebek. I'm not necessarily crazy about the newest host. I didn't mind it so much when um, Blossom was the host. And I can't say I was ever a big, huge Jeopardy fan. I do remember years and years and years and years ago, my grandmother watched um, three game shows. She loved to watch Jeopardy. She loved to watch The Dating Game, which tells you how old I am. And her favorite show was, now it just went out of my mind. Oh, The Newlywed Game. She absolutely loved The Newlywed Game. I don't know what it was, but she did love that. Wayne says his fan is on at full force. That's probably what I need to do. All right, so let me step over and do that real quick while we are sewing. Lorraine, are you sewing with us today? I know you've had a lot going on, it seems, lately. All right. All right, let me make sure these are measured out the other direction that they need to be. Oh, yeah, that makes such a difference. Not so they're always going to be a little bit wider than they need to be. Which probably meant my strips were a little bit wider than they needed to be. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Either way, it doesn't matter. Let's get them cut down to make sure that they're exactly what we need. Because this quilt may end up being a Christmas present for someone. I really need to talk to my daughter. It's funny, I send this stuff to the grandkids all the time, but not so much to her, as she reminds me that she never gets anything. And I'm like, well, you're the one that chose to go get married and start having children. So your children get quite a bit, but she forgets that sometimes. But then I do forget. It's like, I should just ask her what she would like to have. I don't even know if she's that big a Grinch fan. I am, and I will have my Grinch tree, and I'm very excited because I have my new Hallmark Grinch wreath. So when you come into my house, when you walk up on the front porch, I have a 6-foot Grinch that plays and sings and wiggles his hips. And he stands just outside the living room picture window. And then next to that, he has, when you come in the house this year, when you enter the front door, you'll see the Grinch wreath welcoming you there, and he sings, of course. And then when you come around the corner, I have my Grinch 5-foot tree that's bent over because the big red um, ornament bulb, is pulling the tree over. And so I have that. And then below the branch that's bent over, I have the entire Grinch village that's underneath, hanging over the tree that's on one of my tables. So I do a lot for the holidays. I enjoy the holidays very much. Interesting enough, people go, I bet you just hate January when, just seeing it all go away. I really don't. By the time Christmas is here, I don't like taking stuff down till after New Year's. I think that's just part of the holiday. But come come January 4th, I am ready to have all the stuff down, back to storage, boxed, and put away. I will say my house does seem rather empty at that point, but I'm done with the holidays. And I like to put it away because if I don't put it away, then it's not exciting to me. To me, it is so exciting. I look forward to November 1st, start getting stuff out, decorating the house, and everything in the house goes up starting November 1st, just because it takes does take about 3 weeks for all the Christmas stuff to go up. And then same with Halloween. I'll start decorating Halloween around the 15th. Oh, Luane's working on a potato chip quilt. Those have become so popular. I have yet to do my first potato chip, but I am to the point now after a couple of years that I definitely have a enough scraps that I could actually do one and make it work. He says he's also just slowly getting up this morning. Judy says she loved the Newlywed Game. I um, I remember the I don't know why it's and I've watched the newer versions of the Newlywed Games, but nowadays they've tried to make it more crass, and it was like it was always risque enough back in its own day, but um, we always have to try to up the ante on everything. All right, so let me make sure I'm putting this block together right. I don't think I am. No, I'm not. So that goes there, and if that goes that way, how did I do this? That goes this way, which means this has to go this way. Okay. See, I knew I wasn't putting that block together right. Oh, Stephanie's got to run. It was great to see you. Thanks for being here, Stephanie. We always love having you with us. Thank you. And that was the whole point of today, too, folks. Just drop in, drop out, just enjoy time. If you've got your family you need to be with, go be with your family. I don't have family out in Phoenix. And so all of my family is back east. And I just can't go home for every holiday in that, nor would I want to. So I thought, why not do a so day? And those that want to just listen and join in, that'll be great. If they don't, that's fine too. That's a nice thing. It always cracks me up. I remember back in the day, um, as channels became more um, explicit, different things were being said, different things were being shared and shown on television, and how many people were up in arms about. It's like, then don't turn the channel on. Don't If that's not what you want to see or watch, don't turn the channel on. It's not like anyone's forcing you to sit there and watch that. It is just interesting how we want to regulate everything. Luane says later, Gator. I like that. Katrina says it's lunchtime, right? It would be there, right? It's 9 o'clock here, so it's noon Eastern. Heidi says hi. Oh, I watch often, but never have said hello. Love your shows, John. Heidi, thanks so much. Thanks for being here, and thanks for jumping on today. Donna says, thanks for sharing your time. Love the time to help me focus on sewing. It's just nice. I think that's what I enjoy about going to the Quilt Guild, and that is it's just nice to be with the women. It's nice that we're all working on projects, that we all get to share and ask. Today's to me kind of fun because it will be nice if you all, if you're working on this project, when you get those done, if you want to post pictures over on the Facebook page, that would be great. And then we can all see what yours looks like compared to what mine looks like. If you're not a big Facebooker, but you'd still like for others to see what your pattern and that looks like finished, feel free to email it to me. Just email me a picture and tell me it's okay to post it on Facebook, and I will get that posted for you, maybe tomorrow, just depending on what this afternoon looks like, or just whenever you get it done. So no rush. And again, my email, I probably should put it in the chat, is john@guyscraft2.com. So John. I got all four letters. I'm not a Jonathan. I am an actual John. So no Jonathans for me. BBMK says, "It's the calm before the storm. I'm the only one awake." I remember those days too. And I remember tiptoeing around the house, making sure we didn't wake the kiddos up. Oh, Pat says, "I had lunch at my aunt's when I was in second grade. She watched four soap operas: Guiding Light, Search for Tomorrow, Edge of Night, and Secret Storm, all in 1 hour. Each soap was only 15 minutes long." Oh, I don't remember that. So, I mean, as a kid, I was not allowed to watch the Newlywed Game. My mom thought it was too naughty for me. Yep, I know. I believe that. Um, my grandmother, I think, used to watch Edge of Night. I think was her big one. Um, I remember in the 80s when I was in school, I watched All My Children because I loved Erica Kane. I mean, like, what was not to love about Susan Lucci? But I also remember that our campus would shut down every day at 3 o'clock. I think it was 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock to watch GH. And everyone stopped their lives to watch General Hospital. And I was never a fan of General Hospital for some reason. I did watch Days of Tomorrow for a little bit, but it's just kind of interesting. And now I don't even know that there's any soap operas left. Yeah, see, Russ says, "I scheduled my senior year of college around Days of Our Lives." See, I think it was kind of a campus thing. I mean, I remember you go in the dorms and the lobby TV room area would just be packed with folks watching General Hospital. The Luke and Laura back in the day. Um, but again, they were never my favorite. Judy says, "My mom watched Dark Shadows religiously." Just don't remember that. I do remember The Doctors was a soap opera back in the day. I think it was only half-hour episodes. But interesting enough, one of our television anchors back in the day actually had a bit part on The Doctors. He was only on for like a week or 2 weeks. I remember all the women talked about how gorgeous he was, and they loved him as a news anchor and how cool it was he got to be on there. And it was just too funny because I ended up being a communications, radio, and television major in college. And he was my advisor. He had retired since then, and I went back to the school where he had went to school and became a instructor in that. So he ended up being my communications advisor. And it's like, oh, I remember. I mean, growing up, of course, I don't think he appreciated the story when I told it to him because as a kid, you don't think about how that sounds to someone that is now my age, which was his age back in the day, but didn't mean anything by it. Dale says his late partner was a John. He hated being called Jonathan. He would always say, "My mom named me John." Yes. And it still cracks me up how many people will ask me, "Well, do you have an H or not have an H?" And I'm like, really? Um, Judy says Dark Shadows used to come on at 3:30 and we got off the bus and run home where we can watch it. Oh, Candace says my dad recorded both All My Children and GH so he could watch it after work. And that's what I think is funny because we always talked about how many women were hung up on these soap operas and that, and it was always meant to be, a woman thing. But um, I know a lot of guys that watch the soap operas. I mean, when you think about it, they're Dynasty, Dallas. They weren't anything but soap operas. They were just nighttime soap operas. And I actually went to South Fork Ranch this time last year. Yeah, September of last year. because I was in Dallas to see Elton John, and so that day I went out to South Fork Ranch, and it was really a cool tour, a cool place to see. Um, they only filmed outside at South Fork in the pool area and that, and the pool, by the way, was really, really tiny, but, the house wasn't really big enough for them to do a lot of filming in, but it was very interesting. It was a cool tour. Pat says, "My sister planned her feedings and walks with her infant twins around episodes of All My Children." So twisted. Judy, oh yes, I would get up super early, get my work done. The rest of the day was my soaps, right? Um, Trina said that was my first question when my son told me his child would be named Jonathan. One H or two. They decided on one since there were already two H's in his last name. Hmm. Wayne says his were, oh yeah, I forgot about One Life to Live. So I think back in the day it was All My Children, then One Life to Live, then General Hospital, I think is the way they came. Oh, and then Port Charles. It is funny how the ones that have come and gone. All right, there's my second block, folks. So I only have 18 more blocks to go, and it is already quarter after 9. So the likelihood that John's going to get all 12 blocks done today is not going to probably happen. But that's okay because for once I'm actually taking my time. I'm enjoying getting these done, and it's not about rushing. Not always about quantity, right? Sometimes we just want quality. Hmm. I will say part of this packet has these stars, and I've already used these. I've already done this same, I think, charm pack or jelly roll. I wasn't crazy so much about the stars. I was like, really, you couldn't have come up with another coordinating fabric besides that, but it is what it is. All right, so let's iron this out and get another one going. Mm-mm-mm. So we had fun with Russ yesterday. Russ always makes me laugh and giggle. So it was fun being with him. It's been so cool to get to meet so many different people, um, just because of the channel itself, right? So Sean was such a big influence and help in getting me started. He is just such a great guy. Russ and I have become nice friends because of the channel over the last year, and really done some fun things. And doing the collab together yesterday was a lot of fun. Definitely want to look at doing something like that again. I have been on Danielle's channel twice. I have not, actually, Russ is the first one to ever be on my channel. So I need to get better about that. Like I said, Sean was amazing about it. But I do want to get Danielle on there. I want to get Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Cruises on there. Would love to get Stephanie on at some point. There's just so many out there, right? And so many of us doing so many different things, and just trying to coordinate it all and get it put together. But you know what? Somehow we still manage to live our lives, work full time, and yet um, have time for us just to have a time together. Judy says, "How far is this house from the other one?" It's an hour, about an hour and 45 minutes. I typically come up here from work, which is about an hour and 20 minutes from work, but easily within 2 hours. And that was part of the goal. I wanted the change in weather, the change in scene, but I didn't want something that was going to take me half a day to get to. We actually have, I have friends that live further, another hour and a half. So it takes them about 3.5 hours to get to their place. They've got a beautiful place. They actually just bought a new place, huge. I think it's bigger than my first home, but I didn't want to be that far, especially because I still work full time in that, and I just wanted somewhere that would give me enough change of pace that I felt would be fun to escape and give me a change. Interesting enough, the neighbors that live directly across the street from me actually live down in Phoenix, and the development they are in is across the street from the one I'm in. So that's how close of neighbors we are down there. So they're a super, super nice couple. She took me into their RV. I think it was Thursday when I got here because we were talking about quilting, and she goes, "Oh, my aunt, I think it was her aunt, was a big quilter, and she wanted to show me the quilt that her aunt had done for them." So that was kind of cool. It's kind of nice to know that we're leaving some type of legacy, right, for our kids and that. Um, I guess that's why at this point I haven't done a specific quilt for my daughter. I need to kind of figure out what she would like or what she would want. Um, but um, 'cause I do think it's important that they have something to help remember us, right? See, you just always know Luane has always been kind of that bad boy, right? Because he used to skip six periods so he could watch Luke and Laura's wedding. For some reason, that just does not surprise me with Luane. It just kind of tells us everything we need to know. Dale says, I actually bought my first VCR to tape the wedding. You know, and it's funny because I remember, like I said, I wasn't a uh, Luke and Laura GH fan, but I remember that wedding was a big, huge deal. People went nuts about, blah, blah, blah. No different than Who Shot JR. And by the way, I grew up in Louisville, and at the time, Louisville is had Gary Burbank on Wacky Radio, WAKY, and Gary Burbank is the one that wrote the song "Who Shot Jr." Which is kind of cool. And up until about 5 years ago, I still owned the 45 record, and I think ended up just throwing it away. But always thought that was cool. But it is kind of funny the cliffhangers that just became such big deals. Um, that's probably one of the biggest ones that I remember. Hmm. So blessed by Jess. Good morning, Jess. Thanks for joining us today. I am just chatting along about um, what we are working on, sharing. I am taking my time this morning putting these squares together. This one is going to probably take longer than I had thought about. I was kind of, it was kind of exciting with Russ yesterday, the fact that we got so much um, done with that Villa Rosa pattern. Like I said, I did finish mine last night. I don't know if Russ finished his or not. I don't think he did. I know he still had borders. I just don't think he stayed up and did borders last night. Would not surprise me. But I just couldn't help myself. I had to, and I will. Like I said, if it's not on my Facebook page, I will get it posted out there for you all to see. It turned out to be much bigger than I anticipated, but I really do like the colors, the fabrics, because it is that very much vintage Santa. And since I am so big into the MCM, you know that I was definitely happy with how that turned out. You tell I'm really concentrating to make sure that I don't miscut something because I can't tell you how many times I have miscut something. That's why I bought an AccuQuilt and then don't even have my AccuQuilt, which is kind of crazy. Um, so we are just getting this one is going to be in the blues. So I will say maybe that's one of the reasons I like the Grinch is because they do things kind of in non-traditional colors. So more of these bright colors because I am a bright person. Adam Sows is killing me between him and Russ, and I have spent way, way, way too much money on Tula Pink. I won't say that I'm as crazy about this African pattern, the not African, but the this beast pattern, the safari animals and that, as I am some, especially some of the older ones. I did end up finding Tula Pinks on sale after doing a bunch of Googles last night. And yes, even though I said I wasn't spending any more money, I did end up buying several Tula Pinks last night. And so hopefully those will be coming. My neighbor was nice enough yesterday to text me to let me know that we had a big dust storm blow through the community and that she happened to notice that I had 6 packages sitting on the porch and did I want her to go down and get those packages. So she did go down and move those for me. Um, Seems like I can never go out of town and not get a package. So even if I haven't ordered anything in 2 weeks, I still end up with packages sitting on the porch for some reason. Oh, that would make sense. Um, so it just always makes me laugh. So I end up usually inconveniencing a couple of neighbors going, would you care to just go down and um, grab that one package for me? She used to have the garage door code. Um, I think it got reset somehow, so I need to end up probably giving her the code again because it does. She used to just set them in the garage for me. But fortunately, I live in a very safe community, and being in that retirement community, and I'm a few streets in, so it's really kind of hard. You would really have to be wanting to see packages and to know stuff there. Um, so we have not had too many porch pirates, but I watched the video with these porch pirates and that, and it just amazes me. It's like I don't know, nobody wants to work for anything anymore. It's just, I get things can be tough sometimes, but it's like I don't know. I just can't imagine that I would ever just take something that wasn't mine. But I guess I was raised in the leather belt generation, so um, just completely different mindset. All right. Not happy that I got to trim these both in both directions. So I did not measure the um, jelly rolls before I started. But my guess is they weren't exactly the 2.5 inches they were supposed to be. Because I will tell you, after almost 2 years of work, I am finally doing pretty well on my 1/4 inch seam. And I have bought every gadget, everything I can to do that better. And um, as such, I feel pretty confident that it's not me, it's them, to the extent that I keep my little cheater next to the sewing machine to make sure that I continually check to make sure that I'm doing the 1/4 inch seam. I have become a now Juki person after going through multiple machines. I have found that the one that works for me for piecing is Juki. I like the Juki better. And in fact, this Juki is actually going to reside here in Shady Pines, hopefully soon. The table that's sitting on the porch that needs to be put together is specifically for that machine. And I just got on Sewing Machines Plus wait list, not wait list, but pre-purchase. Juki just came out with a new TL18 Platinum. And so that is the machine I am buying to do piecing down in the valley. I've got everything, and it's funny because we buy all these big fancy machines that do all these other stitches. And basically, when you're straight stitching, all you need is a straight stitch machine. And I just like the speed of the Juki. So that ended up being what I am using now. All right, time for the third star. So let's take a look and see what I have missed. Sorry that I have my back to you for a few minutes. Oh, so blessed by Jess says congratulations on the 1,000. Thank you so much. And she never usually gets to catch us live, but she did today. So that is awesome. So thanks for being here. Russ didn't finish his last night. It was after 8 when we hung up. Yeah, forget about that. Yeah, because it was only 5 here. So you're right. That because it took me probably another 3 hours to finish. Took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but then I got into it and just had to. Just as I'm jealous over your Fallon ruler. So it's a long story. I did buy those rulers. I think I bought them at Christmas last year. It was a Christmas gift to me. When I first got them, did not like them. I ended up setting them aside, getting them back out. It's just kind of crazy. And now I can't cut fabric without them. And I have both sizes. So I don't ever want to be without my Fallon ruler again. Oh, Jody says she's got to run to the store. Talking y'all with me. Let's go get some kielbasa. Oh, that sounds good. Trina's doing grilled chicken, potato salad for dinner tonight. Oh, I usually make a broccoli salad for the holidays, and I did not. And I usually make that Cool Whip orange salad with mandarin oranges, and I did not do that this weekend. Lawayne says, "I hope she gets to him before the porch pirates." Yeah, I am very fortunate. Um, he says, "How's the new sewing room at the new house coming?" It is coming along very well. I ended up buying a sewing table for it and for the new Juki to go in, and I believe that is being delivered on um, Wednesday. So I am excited to get it. Now I got to call the handyman to get him to come and assemble it because he has a lot more patience. So I can sit here and take my time putting these silly squares together. I have no patience when it comes to actual work like that. One of my friends says, "I can't believe you just don't do little handy projects like that. It wouldn't take you, but 3 hours, and that's 3 hours I could be sewing. And by me doing the project myself means I'm taking food out of his children's mouths, and I just don't think that's fair. So I like to help support the guy. So, and he's amazing. He's so fast. Just got the best personality and is very, very reasonable. So he's not one of those that just overcharges you for everything. Oh, Judy says she's doing steak, salad, and baked potato for supper. That sounds awesome. BBMK says, "Send help. My motor mouth is away." Oh, I have to say, my children were so irritable in the morning. Neither one of my children were ever. You never knew they were in the house in the morning. At night, when you're tired and you've had a long day, yes, you absolutely knew they were there. Judy says she loves her Juki. I do too. It's taken me a while to get there. I've got my Epic that I love, and then I'll use, for the fancy stitches and other things. But uh, I just I appreciate the simplicity that I get with this Juki. So apparently, even though it's Labor Day, the garbage men come. So I hear the big garbage truck outside. And I think they come here like 3 times a week. We have these big, huge dumpsters, but, I have to say they're because I know they were here Thursday or Friday, and then, they're back today, so, and we've got dumpsters all over. I can't imagine that they need to come as often as they do, but I don't know. I don't manage the park, and I have a very reasonable, rent space, so I don't worry about those things. That one. Oh, Katie, the Greenland quilter's here. Look who's up and going in Greenland. So it is always fun. She's probably not celebrating Labor Day today, but maybe this is one of her days off. And I forgot about Katie. Katie was another channel that I have been on, and her and I had a really good time. And we just chitty chatted and just sewed. And I felt like at the end of the day, we solved world peace. Other folks may not have thought so, but I don't know. We had a good time on her channel as well. In fact, I think the day I was on her channel, we were right at 2 hours. So it was a pretty intense session. And thank you, Katie. Very excited to have reached that 1,000. As you know, it's a big milestone to get to and really helps us on overall on the YouTube channel. So, right, as far as our algorithms and how all that comes to play and how they help promote us. Wayne says Katie's lives are fun to do. Oh, she's off today. Look at you. You go, girl. I had to get up and do approve timesheets this morning for my folks for payroll, and I was like, oh, that means I got to go back in the morning. And even though it's only 4 days, I still got to go back. I don't know that I'm ready for reality, but the reality is when I look at my checkbook, since it's the first of the month, I have to go back. So it is what it is. I like my job. I have a great boss. I work for an amazing company. So I can't complain. I mean, to have to work, um, it's not like I dread working, but I just don't want to work anymore. I want to play. I still blame my parents. I mean, I could have just as easily been born rich as poor. So I had great parents. I had amazing parents. My dad was probably the hardest working man. I blame him sometimes for my work ethic because his work ethic was just off the chart. He was just such a great guy. We lost him about 10 years ago, I guess. And just a lot different without him. I absolutely miss having him around and being able to just chat about life. So usually Russ times me, but he's not timing me, which is probably a good thing. But it looks like it's taking me about right at 20, 25 minutes, I think, to do a block. So right about, I'm gonna say almost 30 minutes. I'm only gonna get done about 2 blocks an hour, but that's okay. They are coming out really awesome. So look at this one with all the blues. Maybe if I hold the others behind it, the sunlight won't bleed through so bad. See if this helps a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I really like these colors. So I don't know if this is a what you would consider like a modified fence rail, but for me, the straight stitching still works really well. Very happy about that. So that is kind of cool. And like I said, we're getting it done. Missouri Star Quilt just sent me another email about their big sale. I tell you what, she just knows how to make money. That is the craziest woman. I just cannot. I have to avoid opening her emails because I just know she always seems to find something that I have to have, and it's like, I got to back off that one this week. I just can't afford to do that. Excuse me. I will say I can tell the weather is starting to change. It's darker in the morning when I get up, which just really kills me. Hey, Pug Mama, have a good one. Trina says I did the strip piecing, then cut the pieces, then clipped everything together, and then started sewing the blocks this morning. Yeah, that's probably smarter. I just my brain's functioning different today, and so this is working for me. And I think I was just anxious to see the blocks start getting built out, and I just didn't want to do it seems too traditional, right? All right, come on, we'll use this one. Loane says he is on a buying freeze because he's coming to see me for QuiltCon. I think QuiltCon is finally back up and running after um, a rocky start to registration this year. I know I got a confirmation that my registration did work last week, and then I think they said it was another um, week or so before they were actually going to be back open. But I know it was supposed to be like August 29th or something, so it should be open now. I have not gone out to check, but hopefully there will be a lot of you coming out to see us in Phoenix. I will tell you, for that time of year, it is absolutely gorgeous in Phoenix. So you will love the weather. Hopefully, we'll have good weather that weekend because, of course, that I tell you that, and then that ends up being a strange weekend for some reason. But it should really be beautiful weather. I don't know because we also have the Arabian Horse Show that comes out usually in February. We have the big car sale that happens. I think that's March though. Then of course, spring training comes late March, and we have the PGA. So we have a lot of things. So that's part of what drives the. It's not the just the economy, but that's part of what drives hotel prices, airline prices, and all that because folks really want to be here that time of year. Just because we have so much going on, because nobody wants to be here in the summer with us, and that's okay too. I will say I do get the summers do get a little long in the tooth, and as a result, that's why I bought this place was to be able to escape the heat for just a little bit at least. And I'm one of those people that cannot stand to be cold, so anything under 80 is freezing to me. My daughter told me one day, she goes, "I'd really love for you to be here just one Christmas with the kids and that, but we get it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you just don't realize. I mean, I think I was born without much blood, and so my blood is very thin." All right. Oh, Lil Wayne says at least this time he knows where he's going because he did get turned around last time. That's easy enough to do in downtown Phoenix, between all the constructions, the expansion. And then the convention center itself is kind of off the beaten path a little bit because we have the Diamondbacks baseball stadium, and right next to it is the Coliseum for the Phoenix Suns. And so you would think, the convention center is like right there, but it's not. It's a few streets up. And then you got the symphony right there. I mean, Phoenix does have a really nice downtown, um, but it's only nice when there's stuff going on because if there's not an event, then there's just not much in downtown Phoenix. It's a pretty desolate area. They're trying to revive it and bring housing and all that back there, but I don't think it's happening overnight or anytime soon. All right, so let me get these cut out. Oh, Charlotte says she just finished her Tibet blocks and getting those together. So that was the um, collab that Russ and I did together. I really did like that pattern and the way those turned out. And I think that was a fun pattern as well. Um, I will say I think there's a lot of similarity sometimes to Villa Rosa patterns. So that's why I tend to pick some really different ones, but I really did like that. Um, I really did like that Tibet pattern, and I thought it went together pretty cool. BBMK did a gorgeous job on hers. She actually cut out the squares from a panel for Halloween. And she's one of those that sent me a picture. And um, I was a little jelly because I mean, hers turned out really, really, it just really popped. So I thought that was really cool. And of course, it's just fun to see what everybody picks, right? Um, how many people are already working on Christmas? How many people are working on fall? I'm hoping next weekend to finally make Gracie work, make Gracie earn her keep. And I am hoping to get done maybe 2 panels next week on my long arm. So I've got about 4 panels, I think. I bought a couple of Christmas panels. Then I bought a fall panel when I was at Myrtle Beach. Um, so I'm hoping to get those panels done so I can really kind of learn how to use my long arm because I am anxious to see how that works. All right. Wayne said, I made sure to book a nice hotel this time, not rent by the hour room. Does make a big difference, Wayne. Hey, Jackie's here from DVD Stitch Art. Welcome in, Jackie. So we are just chatting away about the weekend, about the week ahead, about what's going on, catching up from the live yesterday with Russ. So we have really had a big holiday weekend. So it's been really kind of nice just floating around today. You have friends and family close. How awesome for you and cool is that? I don't out here, which is fine because I have my YouTube family to keep me busy and keep me engaged. And so that is what we're going to allow. And like I said earlier, I am not used to cutting fabric sitting down because I have a big, huge table at home in my utility room. That's one of the reasons I bought that house because I knew that crafting table would come in handy. At the time, I didn't sew, so I had no idea how much that table would come in handy. But now that I'm quilting and sewing, I love it, and I'm just used to hovering over top of my fabric before I cut it. So sitting down gives me a whole different perspective, and so I'm learning to do things differently. And as you can see, my jelly rolls were about a quarter of an inch off. So each time I have to trim these both directions, which is fine. My squares are turning out pretty cool. I have learned that I need to invest more time up front and not trying to fix problems after. You might notice sometimes I'm a little ADHD. In fact, somebody commented on my channel that it's just a little much for them, and that's okay. That's why we have all these different channels for all these different people, right? So you find the person that resonates with you and one that makes sense. All right, so those are all trimmed out. And guys, it is 9:48 my time, so we should do another raffle. So let me get back into giveaways. All right, now let me figure out how to get out of this one. All right, so the giveaways are for channel, so subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, you do need to go in and hit the subscribe button. Uh, I will leave this open for a couple of minutes. Which one am I doing? So we did the jelly roll last hour. This hour, we are doing the poppy cotton uh, Prairie Christmas. And it's actually 21 fat quarters. So it's a pretty big bundle of fat quarters. Oh, I can't see because I switched over. So it is a bundle of fat quarters. Has not been open. It is completely sealed and ready to go. If in the chat you would type the word fat, that should get you entered. If you've already won, please don't enter again. So let's give everyone an opportunity, but type the word fat. It doesn't need anything else other than the word fat, and give you a couple of minutes to get that done. And then we will roll for the next winner. And if you win, when you win, if you'll send me an email to john@guyscraft2.com with your address, I will get your prize mailed out hopefully this week. Um, Once I get back and get my life put back to what is normal down in the valley. So I've got my car all charged up, so it's ready to go back to work tomorrow. So it's funny because it's just things you don't think about, right? So everybody else is still going to the gas stations, like, oh, I got to go outside and plug the car. I will say that I have become very spoiled quickly. I do like having an electric vehicle. I don't ever think about buying gas, going to a gas station, or anything like that. So because of that, really makes it kind of cool. All right, we'll give everybody about one more minute. If you are a subscriber and would like to win the fat quarter, just type in the word fat one time, and then we will roll the dice and see how that one works out. And yes, at the front door. But that front door is actually in Phoenix, so they're at the front door in Phoenix. So Judy says, "Does your work have a charging station?" Yes, they do. Um, yes, Pat, thanks for asking. At this point, yes, this is our first giveaway. This is the first time I've done a giveaway. Yeah, I'd like to keep it just to US. I should have said that only because I don't understand international shipping, but I will get that figured out so we can make that happen next time. All right, so let's look at rolling. Let's roll the die and see where we end up. Dale won. Congratulations, Mr. Dale. So, Dale, if you will send me an email with your address, I will get that mailed out to you this week. And again, it is john@guyscraft2.com. So we have one more giveaway that'll come up at in about 50 minutes, and we will be concluding getting close to the end of our 3 hours together. I appreciate each and every one of you being here with me this morning. Watching me get some things done. Um, Russ has been really good the last couple of weeks at bobbin chicken. Me, not so much. I forget about the bobbin. And last night was uh, finishing out the Tibet quilt and putting that together. Trina says international is dealing with the paperwork and the extra cost. Custom forms wouldn't be bad for a jelly roll or fat quarter. All right, good to know. Because I do use Pirate Ship, because some of you may or may not know that I have a Etsy store, um, but we have never had to ship even to Canada. Um, so I will explore a little bit with Pirate Ship and see. Actually, I ended up on Pirate Ship because we were shipping enough at one point that the post office called and was talking to us about different things and talking to me about different opportunities. And they're the ones that actually turned me on to Pirate Ship, which is a free software, but it does get you a lot of discounts in that. Oh, Katrina says her Secret Santas have been in Canada the last 2 years. Mm, that makes sense. I've shipped internationally at work. Um, But that's different because, right, I just take it down to the mailroom and the mailroom deals with it. So it's a little bit different when I personally have to deal with it and figure it out. So somebody did ask, and I don't know if I answered the question or not. Does my company have charging stations at work? Yes. So two reasons. That I ended up trying an electric vehicle, and I did not purchase mine. Mine is a Volkswagen. I absolutely love it and love everything about it, but um, it is a leased vehicle. I purposely, oh, I am so happy I did not answer the door because um, it was a political pollster. The nice thing is Alexa answered the door for me. So I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. I forgot when you say her name. I just got her hooked up here. But anyways, I do work for a utility company, and as such, they do provide charging stations for us, and it is free. So I'm able to essentially drive my car for free because I'm able to charge at work for free. And because I ended up buying or leasing the Volkswagen, they gave me 3 years of charging at Electrify America because they own that station. And I get 30 minutes a day for 3 years. I did get lazy this weekend and did not go back up the street here to charge the vehicle because I just didn't feel like going out. So I ended up charging it here. So I actually paid to charge my vehicle, but I actually don't have to do that very often. Usually, I'm somewhere where I can get the vehicle charged up for free, and so essentially, it makes it a whole lot cheaper operating costs. Plus, you don't have to deal with the oil changes and all those things that you deal with traditional vehicles. All right. Oh, Jackie says international shipping can be outrageous. I ship to family in Canada about 3 times a year. That's just crazy. And, but the thing is, we want to be able to include our folks in that. So I will figure out something around international shipping. But I appreciate the question because it is not one that I had thought about. And, but I would like to do more giveaways. And um, I'm just glad that today seems to be working and that I have actually got those figured out. Because it is on a randomizer. I use Nightbot along with a lot of other YouTube creators, and Nightbot does help us monitor and take care of our channel, so that makes it um, nice. Oh, Katie says it depends on how you do the shipping. And of course, Katie would know, right? Being from Florida and now Greenland, she's kind of been all over. All right, so I almost have another square done. Like I said, this is going together much slower than I anticipated, but I really like the way it's coming out, and it's kind of been nice today, not rushing along, and that I've had time to chill and chat and just hang out. It's been a good weekend for me. I mean, it's a good weekend when you get to see your YouTube peeps and you get to spend a few hours with Russ. I mean, who could not, that's called living the life, right? That just means I am leading an amazing life at this point. All right, so one more block done. So I am having hamburgers and that with neighbors down the street about 4 hours. I think they wanted to get together about 2 o'clock. Interesting enough, I usually make a ranch, not a ranch, but a broccoli salad. Um, and I just didn't do that this time. I didn't do the orange salad. that's made out of Cool Whip with mandarin oranges and that. Just didn't happen um, this weekend. I just feel like there was so much going on and so much to get done. It was nice to get invited down the street and be able to just kind of hang out and socialize a little bit. I may end up having to make my little Jimmy Buffett margarita maker work and earn its money though this afternoon because that can always be a little fun. All right, so let's see how this one turned out. So now I've done pinks, reds, blue, and now I've done the red. Look how cute that's turning out. I don't like, I like what's on the red strips, but they're just so, that's the problem sometimes with jelly rolls is it doesn't, you don't get as much character. Fortunately, I did get the Grinch on this one. Neat, cute. So that is working out. Let's see, I've done red, blue, pink. Let's do a green. Let's see what a green is going to turn out and look like. Hmm. I kind of like this one. This one's got a lot of color to it. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Russ says orange salad sounds healthy because it has oranges in it, and all salads are healthy. You know, I am just going to say sometimes we just have to tell ourselves what we need to tell ourselves. I am not a salad eater. I am. I don't mind vegetables. I've just never been a salad eater per se. So it does. Although interesting enough, um, Thursday and Friday, I ended up not making. I usually make the keto um, salad dressing that goes on the cheeseburger salad. And I ended up cheating and buying a Thousand Island from Walmart that had um, no sugar, no this, no this, no that. Um, so I ended up making cheeseburger salads this weekend. And interesting enough, I've actually been on a diet trying to do much better with my weight. It's getting there, but it's getting there very, 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 very slowly. But interesting enough, I did not put cheese on the cheeseburger salad. So I used ground turkey and then used the ground turkey and then did lettuce, onions. Oh, but I did do bacon, right? So everything's better with bacon. Russ said if God intended us to eat vegetables, he would have given them a running chance. Poor Russ. He has more dad jokes than anyone I know, right? You just have to appreciate his sense of humor. Oh, who said? Katrina says, I've seen shorts on making candy salad. That's not a healthy salad. Delicious, but not healthy. I have not seen those. I may have to be Googling that. Oh, Katie has lost nearly 20 kilos. Congratulations, Katie. That's a huge achievement. Anything going in the other direction is awesome. Oh, Lawayne says he likes a healthy tuna chicken salad. I like we have a cranberry walnut chicken salad at work, and I have I really like it, and I've really been surprised at how much of that chicken salad they sell. I didn't realize how much people liked chicken salad. I think I tried their tuna salad once. I'm more funny about my tuna salad. Mm. I like tuna salad, but I think it's more specific about what goes into the tuna salad. Katie says she doesn't want to make a big deal about it, and she was shocked when she saw the numbers on the scale. Always good when we see the numbers going in a different direction. I only weigh once a week. I typically weigh on uh, Friday morning because it's my, for some reason, I don't know why I got into Fridays. It's my work from home day, but I obviously did not get to weigh this week, and that's okay. My clothes fit much better, but I could lose 75 pounds and still have plenty of clothes because I grew in the other direction. So I have plenty of clothes going in both directions now. So it is what it is. I would like to be a little bit skinnier for my cruise coming up, but I'm healthy, and that's the main thing. Just recently had all my checkups with the cardiologist and this ologist and that ologist and my general doctor. And I've lost enough that he actually took me off all of my diabetic medicine, and that's the big win for me is less pills in the pill box. So my blood pressure's way down. My cholesterol was even better because he began to wonder if I would ever have better cholesterol. So I think it's just we approach each day separately. We do what we can and just enjoy life. I have realized life is entirely too short to sweat and worry about the small stuff. I'm not willing to do that anymore. I want to live my life, have a good life, and try to make the best decisions I can. And that's not always easy to do, but we do what we can. All right, let's see if I'm going to have to. Yeah, crazy. All right. I got up early this morning, made the bed, got the garbage ready, trying to knock out a few things before the live this morning. Make sure that I would be ready on time. There's nothing worse than being a few minutes late to the live, right? So, and I have not got to shop many of the emails for the holiday weekend, which has probably been good, especially since I ended up buying so much Tula Pink again yesterday, which I absolutely did not need. And I acknowledge I did not need it, but I wanted it. My fear is, though, I need to really start destashing and getting some stuff. And that's why I pulled out some of the things that I had because I thought I'd really like to start doing some giveaways. I appreciate each and every one of you that put up with me, that have joined the channel, um, that are here as subscribers, and that helped me achieve that 1,000, which has just been so cool. And at the end of the day, though, it's like I'm never going to get to everything. Yet I still buy more, and that's okay. So actually, the sad thing is everything that I am using today as the giveaways, I have duplicates or triplicates of. So I don't feel bad. I am excited to share. And as such, I still have that same fat quarter to do something with, that same um, jelly roll. And it just felt like I should do a jelly roll today because it's jelly roll day, right? This whole pattern's about jelly rolls. So I just felt like I had to do a jelly roll. I actually wanted to do a charm pack, but I couldn't find charm pack that I liked as well. All right. Now just got to trim the other direction. That's what's taking time. Yeah, I should have trimmed my strips before I started. That's hindsight, though. We don't do hindsight, right? I have been watching um, Royal Medicine. Is that right? Oh my gosh, I have to think of it. Um, the show that was on USA Network a few years ago with Hank Med and all that. I have been streaming that on Netflix lately. I like to follow series. I ended up just watching White Collar because I had always tried to watch that show, but I never knew when it was on because USA is just not one of those networks that you just tune into that regular. And but I mean, I love watching Matt Bomer, so I have been doing that. And I think I put more of that on the floor than I did in the thing. Jackie says, I just deleted all of the sale emails. I really don't need more things to pick up. Amen. You go, girl. I am very happy. I am excited. Oh, Katrina says the next goal is getting you that silver medal. How cool would that be? Listen, guys, I am just very blessed and honored to have you all here, have you part of the channel, part of what's going on in my life. The support in that is just amazing. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I wish we could actually be together a couple of, at least one time during the week. Keep thinking I may try to start a little bit, like, but it just, with my work schedule and that, I just feel like it's too much and I don't want to take away from Sunday. I don't want to degrade, right? I'd rather not meet than to meet and not have a good session together. So with that said, I will probably continue the way I am and go from there. All right, so this one's going to be the greens and the limes. So let's see if we can get this one working. I really have to each time really look at this pattern. I'll be anxious to get this on the wall or floor or wherever to lay this out to see how this is going to turn out once I get all the squares done, especially this one because the Grinch has so many colors. It has that blue, it has that Royal Pains. Yes, thank you, Lawayne. I've been watching Royal Pains lately. I've been streaming it on Netflix. But I think this is going to be really a cute Christmas quilt in a lot of different directions. It is absolutely going to be a busy quilt, but that's okay. I like busy, I like loud. That's why I could just see doing like a really bold pink or something backing on this um, to really just make it pop. Because the Grinch has such fun colors, anyways, and it's not all those traditional Christmas colors. which, by the way, I love traditional Christmas colors. BBMK says it will be a good move downsizing. All right, so see, I started talking, so that went on incorrectly, right? Yes, you did. All right, so now I got to find Jack again. Come on, Jack. Y'all, I've done pretty good when you think about it with all the twists and turns that are in this pattern. This is only the second time I've had to rip out. Here we go. All right. All right. BBMK says, I do not envy you packing. I have no desire myself to ever pack again. I feel like I have been moving my entire life. The house that I bought over in the valley, it was purposely bought to be my retirement home, and I have no desire to move myself out of that house ever. But of course, you never say never, right? So it's funny. I talked to my daughter. It was yesterday. We had such a great conversation. And she's such an amazing adult woman, mother, wife. But I do miss being with her, and she knows it. But she also knows that I just love Phoenix. But she does every now and then mention the fact about how nice it would be if I was closer. And it would be closer because I would not move into the community she's in. I lived there. I don't desire to ever go back to that community. Um, but I do miss being around my grandchildren and getting to share as much. And some of you got to meet little Ava Lynn, my granddaughter. She did the live with me from Myrtle Beach this year. And Lord have mercy, I had no idea what a big ham she was. But she thought that was the coolest thing ever. So we will be doing another live together. We might do one Easter because I'll be there for Easter and I'll be there that Easter Sunday. So we may do a live together that day and then turn around and do one again at the beach because there's absolutely no way she's not going to let me not do one from the beach. Plus, you're going to want to see all the stuff I bought from the cool beach store. That was one of the coolest quilt shops I have been to. And I actually wouldn't mind asking them if they would be interested in doing a show together. Would be fun to be able to walk you all through their shop and that, talk about what was there and that, because they really did have a lot of. It was a nice design shop. I liked the way it was laid out, but not only that, I did like um, they had some unique stuff that I had not seen other places, and so that always is fun to me that you find some unique stuff in that. Of course, I have done nothing from their shop that I bought. It's in a bin sitting in the new YouTube studio. Jackie says this will be my last move, trading houses with my daughter and son-in-law. They're moving into dad's house, and she's moving into the smaller house, and that makes sense. And I get downsizing, I get getting there. It just hmm. It's just you don't understand how much you accumulate, and I feel like I have downsized and then re-downsized and then downsized it. It's like, okay, how do I keep getting stuff? And part of that could be that I have a shopping problem, and part of it is holidays. I do love my holidays. I do love my Hallmark, so I spend way too much money at Hallmark. I occasionally like QVC, and I have tried lately just not to turn QVC on at all. And yet I end up making up for it with quilting stuff. So, like, oh my goodness. Well, this one turned out pretty cute and different. So let me get it pressed open and I'll show you. This one is going to be all in the greens. So that's what I said. I'm really anxious. I may go down if I can get these done this week, which I'm not making any promises, but I would like to take this down to the Quilt Guild and get it pinned up on the wall because I think this is going to be one of those where you really want to make sure you're matching up the squares together the way you want. But it is going to be a busy quilt, but this one is all in. Let me put it with the other ones again. This one is all in the greens. Look how cute that green is with that lime green. So I think these squares are turning out really cute. So I'm really, really happy with this pattern. So if you all have not bought that pattern, um, I would recommend it. It is like it would probably be much faster if you just did all the strips versus doing just a block at a time. But I am in no hurry and I really like the way it is turning out. So I think that is going to be awesome. Mary says, QVC has gotten so bad that I stopped buying from their shipping has gotten. I agree. I mean, I think it's so funny when you look at their shipping cost and that it's their return policy that drives me bonkers because their return policy, depending on what it is, they want you to pay shipping back to them or they want this and that. And it's like, all right, you sent it to me, it got damaged in shipping, and you need me to ship the broken pieces back to you. It's like, I don't know. I don't think their business model sometimes is always the best, but what do I know, right? So what I do know is I can choose where and how I spend my money. And so sometimes I just choose to not spend it with them. That's fine too. All right, let's see. I would like to get at least one more square built out today. Oh, that might be fun to do. All right, I think I'm gonna make this one kind of darker, but only because I didn't get as many. I think they shorted. I think it wasn't an even split between that almost looks like Cat in the Hat to me. If you all remember Cat in the Hat. It is Grinch, but um I do remember back in the day having man, my mind just went blank. Let's go back to chat, see what everybody else is chatting about. Love the green with the green Grinch. Brian says, very nice. When I go to De La Rosa next week, I'm going to buy the pattern again because it's easier to spend $2 to buy the pattern than to try to find it. Yeah, I get that. Girlfriend, I am so with you sometimes. I hate to think sometimes and that is one of the reasons I think I stay in the club because for about $10 a month, I do enjoy getting their new patterns and that. It just means I don't go to Starbucks anymore. That's fine too. I don't like our Starbucks. We don't have in our compound. We don't have a um, drive-through Starbucks, so you have to park and get out. And all of ours are inside grocery stores. Ours are in um, the two groceries, so that never seems to appeal as much to me. And but I do like having the cards. Now, I did do this one digitally. I did download it just because I wanted to get it sooner rather than later. But I do prefer having their cards. Jody says it does look like Cat in the Hat. Maybe they're cousins. I always loved Dr. Seuss. Miss Dr. Seuss. I know. Apparently, we're not supposed to let our grandkids see as much Dr. Seuss anymore because we found all kinds of stuff to make Dr. Seuss bad now. So I don't know. I learned that stuff, and I tend to go buy this, try to find it and buy it and keep it on the shelf because I don't know. I'm not one that wants to be overly politically correct. I think I turned out okay and live a pretty good moral life. And I didn't need to be regulated to get there, but it is just funny. Sorry. Hmm. Oh, and I forgot one of the things I've got to do is pack this sewing machine to go back to the valley too, because until Juki starts shipping the new one, I want to still use this one. Just one more thing to load into the car. That's when I'm really working hard to get to the point where I don't have to load so much coming back and forth, but we'll see. Yeah, BBMK says we cannot look at yesterday through today's lenses. How true is that? Jody says, how long does it take to get home? From here, it's about an hour and 45 minutes, so not crazy. I would not go today anyways because I live right in the middle. This house is right in the middle of where everybody wants to be. So some stop here and some drive an hour, 2 hours past here. So just for instance, in order to get here, you have to come into the little town community, and the two major roads intersect. And of course, you've got to turn right to come down here, but you got to turn right to get on up north. And they were posting comments on Friday afternoon that it was taking an hour and a half to get here. And I'm like, yeah. And everybody goes, but it's a holiday weekend, so why do you all not think? What did you all think? I'm like, yep, that's why I came up on Wednesday night and took vacation Thursday and Friday because I just needed a break. My new job has been great. I have finally got my team together, and they are doing amazing. But I just needed I needed the mental break. Plus, I have a lot of sewing I need to get done, folks, and I want to be able to have my Christmas gifts done this year. So I ended up taking a couple of days vacation, coming up here and playing. And now, after the live today, I got to think about reality and the fact that, oh, life starts all again tomorrow morning. And that's fine. Like I said, I got a great job. I've got a great life. I'm very happy with how decisions and that have been made, but it's does just take its toll some days. But it's having days like this that allow me to feel like I've accomplished some stuff. I get to relax, I get to chat, I get to have my say, and just kind of have some fun. I think we take life too seriously. I think we were promised this bill of goods that, once we got all this computerized stuff and all this other things happening, how much easier our lives would be, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't find life any easier. I find it tougher because now I used to be able to go out to dinner and ignore the phone call, and instead, now they can reach me 24/7 no matter where I'm at. What's really cool is driving here, coming up the mountain, is is half, at least half the trip. There's no cell phone service, so it really does make it nice to come up the mountain because it's like, oh, no cell phone service. I likey no cell phone service. And I don't have to feel guilty and say, oh, I forgot, or oh, I didn't turn it on, or whatever. Nope, not my fault. I have to drive through an area that doesn't have cell phone, which is kind of scary because last couple of trips ago, I was coming up and my low tire pressure light came on, which tells you, folks, you should be making sure you check before any trip, because there is literally like no place to stop coming up the mountain. There's just nothing. It's not. I mean, you better make sure you've done everything you need to do when you get in the car because there's nowhere to go do anything other than on the side of the road, basically, and no cell phone service. And I was like, oh, just please make it to the cabin because once you get here, then I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with you. But fortunately, um, it was fine. I think it was just a change in temperature. And so I was able to get that taken care of that trip. But I have a lot. I will say the one thing that I probably get aggravated the most about living in Phoenix is actually tires because I can't tell you how many tires I've gone through in that just because we have so much road construction, just construction in general, and the fact that it's such a hot, dry climate that we don't get rain to help kind of like wash things away and kind of clean stuff up. So that even makes it worse. That goes that way, that goes that way, and that goes that way. Um, Well, Luna says I spent 2 hours going up to Scottsdale on Thursday for the quilt craft show and event. Patted lots of fabric. Oh, that's awesome. I went last year. I will say I purposely didn't go this year because I was already up here and I didn't want to go back down to the valley. It's not my favorite show, although I did spend tons of money there. But what I don't like about it is it's in where they do the rodeos and all the other stuff. And you knew that there had been animals on that concrete. When you went into certain booths, it was too strong for me. And I'm like, I'm here buying fabric and stuff, and it just didn't make sense to me. Wayne says, did you ask if it was okay to pet their fabric? Mm, mm-mm-mm. But I did go to that show last year. It is a nice show. It is at Scottsdale. Um, and then our next show will actually be in Phoenix. We have what they used to call the Rusty Barn, but I noticed they don't want to call it that anymore. But that show is in January. And then we have QuiltCon in February. And I think it's November. We have Tucson has a quilt show. and I have not been to their quilt show. I wouldn't mind just spending a little time in Tucson. I don't know much, if anything, about Tucson. I've not been in that area much. I don't have a reason to really go down there other than the fact I would like to get out and explore the state that I live in. When I lived in Virginia, I do feel like over the 10 years that we really explored all parts of Virginia. So part of that was, school trips and that, but and ball trips because my son played basketball any and everywhere, and so that was always cool. But I do feel like I got to know that state rather well. But I really would like to spend some more time. I haven't been to the Grand Canyon yet, so um, I really need to get to the Grand Canyon and some of the other places. I've been to Flagstaff. I love Flagstaff. Been to Jerome, which is an old copper town. I believe that's the copper town. We have so many like historic things that are just different historic, right? Because I mean, when you live in Virginia and you're living next to the University of Virginia and Thomas Jefferson and Williamsburg and Jamestown and all of that, that's one piece of history. But we have such a different history here. And then I've been to Florida multiple times, and you think about Florida and Disney World and just all of that. We've made it so commercial, so it's just. Luna says she's never smelled animal and their floors are always clean. Mm. Oh, Judy says you say it takes an hour and a half, but what is the actual mileage? I really don't know. Interesting. I um I don't know. That's a good question. Because honestly, I put it in the GPS and just go, and I always worry about the time, but I never look at the mileage. I know on the Volkswagen itself, if you're asking about it, I get 240 miles, I think, is the longest trip you supposedly can take. But then I, I take into account that I'm driving up the mountain. So obviously that gives a little bit bigger wear and tear on the vehicle itself. So but it's funny, I don't look at, just haven't looked at the mileage. Jody says no channel for her. She just diddy bops around to everyone else's channel, and we appreciate that. And I think that's what's really cool too, um, is seeing us on different channels. Oh, Balloona says that Tucson Quilt Show is in January. Green Valley Show is in March. Okay. Yeah, you can still tell I'm very new, not only to Arizona, but to the quilting and all that as well. I just wait till everything pops up in my email. I plan to go to the Strawberry Pine Quilt Show this year, but when I got here, there was a bad wreck in the windy curves getting to it, and I sat for 30 minutes, and you could tell they were nowhere near getting traffic um, through. So I ended up just leaving. And because their show, I think that is one of the things that surprises me is how most of the shows are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they don't do Sundays, which I find interesting. Uh, and so because of that, I did not go on Friday because I had to work. So I had planned to go Saturday and ended up not getting to go to the show um, because of that wreck. There's no detour. That's the road to get there. So ended up missing that, but I hope to see that next year because I really enjoy supporting the small shows. Right, it's fun to go to the big shows. It's fun to see all the vendors and all that, but I really like supporting some of the smaller shows, some of the smaller guilds, because those folks work just as hard as the ones that are in the big city and have the big guilds. And sometimes they do better work, if not, fantastic work. Plus, occasionally I end up buying someone else's quilt because that's what I need. Is you don't have can't make them fast enough. You just go buy others. So this one I did red and green. It did turn out. Um, I think it turned out pretty cute. So I think this pattern, like I said, when I get this together, I'm really anxious to get this on the wall because I think this is going to be pretty loud, pretty busy. It's definitely going to be a busy quilt. That's okay. I like busy. I don't like calm and rational. That's all crazy. That's what I do at work. Luna said, "Did you have to go through the Salt River Canyon?" I don't know. That's where we went. It was on, I think it's Highway 89 to get over to Salt Pine or Strawberry Pine. Um, I think is the name of the road. Again, I just punch in GPS. I know I should pay a lot more attention, but I just don't. I punch in GPS and trust the GPS is going to make it happen. That's how I get it done. Get her done. That's a good Southern term. Wonder if we have time to get one more block done before 11. Wonder how you all are doing. If you're all getting your blocks done, again, make sure that you post pictures and updates to what you get done on the Facebook channel, if you will. You don't want to post them on Facebook, but don't care to share them. You can always email me over at john@guyscraft2, and I will get those posted up for you. And if you were a winner today, make sure that you send me an email with your address so I can get those giveaways done. And that's almost time for our next giveaways. Judy says it sounds like you'd be lost if you didn't have your GPS. That is absolutely the truth. I do everything via GPS. Katrina says still not as busy as the one she was working on yesterday. So Jody says, are you putting sashing around the blocks? I did not plan to. The pattern does not call for it. So I was just following the pattern. Um, but that is a good idea. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think I need to get them done and put them on the design wall and see what I think once I get them up there. So, but that is a good suggestion. It is a way to tone things down a little bit. It's something, be honest, I don't know that I've really done sashing on a quilt like that. So that would be different for me too. So I keep trying to experiment with new and different things. Because who wants the same old, right? All right. Dale says he likes how at least 7 or 8 of us are running into each other on different channels. I I do think that is so cool. I see Joy everywhere, but I do think it's cool how we all share and um, support the different channels and that. But it is fun to see really how we all have the same type interest, right? That it's obvious that we like what we like, and you can almost tell by the channels that we follow and see. If you're interested in who I follow, who I'm watching, that is in the description below. Always is. I try to update that occasionally, um, based on how I'm surfing and what I'm going through. Um, but yet, it's just one more thing to try to keep up with sometimes. So that's not always easy, but we do the best we can. All right, let me see if I can get this cut out. I don't think I'm going to have time to get this block done. So I may have to go back and do what Katrina did. I think it was Katrina that said she did all her strips first and then did all the cutting. I think the problem was I didn't want to do all the cutting today. I didn't want to just sit and have to cut. So this helped me break it up. I feel like I've done a lot of cutting lately. Not a bad thing. It's not something I wanted to do today. Because actually, once you get it cut, the blocks itself go together pretty quick as long as you don't do like I did and put one together or two together in the wrong direction. And I have to say, I think I really am liking this panel. One of the things I was talking about on our collab yesterday is I'm just now starting to do a lot of the half square triangles and that. So I really would like to get more experience and work with those. So, and that does not, Villa Rosa does not lend itself to those as much, even though the Ghosties table runner that I um, did. So I did get to do some half square triangles for the first time with that one. So that was kind of cool. And all right, let's see. I tell you what, you end up with some nice pieces at the end. So it'll be funny to see how I am able to end up using those at some point. Let me get these trimmed down real quick. And then we have one final drawing. So let me get this trimmed up. And let's get I tell you, I am always ready to get into the Christmas spirit, get into my Hallmark Christmas movies and all that type of stuff. But oh, I tell you, it's been so hot and that this summer. It's like, well, it is time for fall. It was nice to get up here and get the break from the weather to go, okay, so this is what it's going to feel like in another month in Phoenix because it does take us a while to get there. Phoenix, Phoenix takes quite a turn to cool down, and that's okay because, by the way, as they say in Phoenix, we don't shovel sunshine. And I like that saying because that is one thing that I absolutely hated doing. I remember the last house that I bought in Virginia, I actually bought a snow blower. And we didn't have tons of snow, but we had enough that it was definitely aggravating. And you had to, get your drives done in that because it wasn't like it was going to melt overnight. And I don't, um, I don't want to ever do that again. I don't want to own that type of equipment. So, all right, so all right, so all of those are cut. Where is my time? Oh, I'm running out of time. All right, so the last giveaway, I just felt like I had to do a Grinch, right? So this is the new Grinch Advent calendar that just came out. It is a Robert Kaufman. It is a complete kit. And so let me get over to Nightbot and set up this giveaway. And so, all right, so if you would type Grinch in the chat, we will give away our last and final giveaway, Grinch. And that will be our final giveaway today. So we've done pretty good. We did the Grinch Advent Calendar. We did the Fat Quarter Bundle. We did a Jelly Roll. And we just had fun chatting and getting to know each other and just having a little holiday fun for us. And I appreciate each and every one of you being here today. Uh-oh. It was fun getting to do something like this. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate the feedback, the comments, because definitely looking at would it be fun to do something like this on other holidays? We might do it more as a collab or something, but I think it's fun for us that don't have a lot of family close or handy that we might, oh, wrong needle, John. Uh, that it might be fun just to have time together and being able to share and get to know each other a little bit better. Yes, I'm one of those that throw the thread on the floor. I'm the one that sweeps the floor so I can do what I want. One thing I would like to learn one day is how to use my needle threader on my machine. I will say the one thing I don't like about Juki, I'm not crazy about their needle threader. Now let's see if John can do this right. All right, so let's roll for the final giveaway. Let me find where it says roll. And here we go. And Brian Springer was the winner. So congrats, Brian. If you send me your address at john@guyscraft2, like I said, I will get that mailed out this week. And we will see how that goes. And guys, I've had so much fun today. I really appreciate each and every one of you being here. Anxious to get this last square together so I can show you before we run out of time today. And then I will catch back up on the chat. I appreciate you that have joined the Facebook channel. I also appreciate those that don't want to join it. Because I get it. And I think Facebook gets to be very invasive in that at times. And I tend to be um, very cautious, careful around asking. If you notice, I don't do a whole lot of posts. It is a Guys Craft 2 page, but I respect those that manage their social time, right? Because I think at one point we just let all of that kind of stuff consume our lives. I think we got excited and it got to be too much. And as such, I wanted a spot, a space where we could share projects and things that we were working on. But and if we wanted to chat some in between, um, I wanted to provide that mechanism, but absolutely respect those that aren't as crazy about it. It's just the tool. I know Sean uses a different. Sean's got a different tool that he uses. But I'm not looking for memberships and things like that. That's not what I was looking for. So that's why I ended up with just a Facebook page for now. But we will see. All right, so let's look at the last quilt block. Oh, how cool is that? I got the last one done. I really like this because I like these stripes that they use with the Grinch. I think that's really cool. All right, so I did get a nice pile done today, so I can't complain. How cool is that going to be? Man, those stripes really jump out on this one, don't they? All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I so appreciated being able to spend this holiday time with you. Russ is going live shortly on his channel today. He is working on some stuff as well. And then I'm not sure who else is going live on the holiday, but I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, until next time, happy crafting.